All right, let's dive right in. The GST Portal has just rolled out a brand new feature that's honestly going to change the game for how you handle your invoices. It's called the Invoice Management System, or IMS for short. And today, we're going to walk you through everything you need to know to master it.
You know that feeling, right? That little jolt of anxiety when you see a GST notice pop up in your email, especially when questioning your input tax credit claims? Well, if you've been there, you're going to love this, because this new system is designed to stop those mismatches before they can even happen.
So what exactly is this IMS? Just think of it as your own personal checkpoint. It's a new spot on the GST portal that lets you, the person receiving the goods or services, check and confirm every single invoice before you go ahead and claim that ITC. It's all about putting control and safety back in your hands. Okay, so we know what it is, but how does it actually work? In this first section, let's break down the mechanics of this new verification process and what you need to do to make sure you're claiming the right credit every time.
First things first, let's get some key dates on your calendar. The system officially launched on October 1st, 2024. But the important date for you is October 14th. That's when you can actually start taking action on your invoices. And really, circle the 14th of each month in your mind, because that's the day your draft GSTR-2B gets generated based on everything you've done.
All right, next up, let's trace the journey of an invoice. To really get a grip on this system, you got to see how a document travels from your supplier screen all the way to your IMS dashboard. It's a pretty cool digital path.
And it is seriously fast. The second your supplier even saves an invoice in their GSTR-1 or IFF, they don't even have to file it. Bam! It pops up in your IMS dashboard. And here's the magic part. You don't have to wait for them to file their return anymore. You can see it and act on it right away. Now, it's just as important to know what you won't find in the IMS. As you can see here, all the standard invoices from GSTR-1 filings will be there. But things like your reverse charge mechanism invoices or import data, those will skip the IMS and head straight to your GSTR-2B, just like they always have.
Okay, this is it. This is the heart of the whole system. Once that invoice lands in your dashboard, you've got a decision to make. You have three main actions you can take, plus one very, very important default action.
This slide is absolutely crucial, so let's walk through it. Accept is simple. You're saying the invoice is good to go and the ITC flows into your GSTR-2B. Reject means, nope, something's wrong and that ITC is blocked. Pending is your I'll deal with this later button. It just sits there and no ITC appears for now. But here's the one you really need to watch out for, doing nothing. If you don't act on an invoice, the system assumes it's correct. It's deemed accepted, and the ITC will be available. That means if a bad invoice slips through and you miss it, you could end up claiming the wrong credit and, hello again, tax notices. So you've got to be vigilant.
But hey, don't sweat it if you click the wrong button by mistake. You're not locked into your first choice. The system is super flexible. You can switch an invoice from accept to reject, depending, and back again as many times as you need to, right up until the moment you file your GSTR-3B. Once you file, though, that's it. Your choices for that month are locked in. Okay, so you're in there accepting, rejecting, putting things on pending. But where does all that lead? What's the end result? Let's connect the dots and see how your actions in the IMS flow directly into your actual tax returns. It's a really clean, straight line. You hit accept on an invoice in the IMS, bam! That action makes sure the ITC for that invoice gets included in your draft GSTR-2B, and then that number just auto-populates right into your GSTR-3B, all ready for you to claim when you file. It's a seamless flow from verification to claim.
Now you might be wondering, what happens if you take an action after your draft GSTR-2B is already sitting there? No problem at all. The system lets you recompute it. Basically, you just hit refresh on the data. So how many times can you do this? As you can see, the answer is unlimited. You can keep updating your actions and refreshing your return data as often as you want, right up until you file.
Okay, but we all know business can get messy, right? It's not always so straightforward. What happens when a supplier amends an invoice or deletes one? Let's tackle a few of those special cases. This timeline breaks it down perfectly. Let's say it's November, and your supplier amends an invoice from October. You can't just act on the new one. First, you have to deal with the original October invoice and file your October return. Only after that's done will the new amended version show up in your IMS for you to act on in the November tax period.
And what about these other tricky situations? Well, if a supplier edits a saved invoice before they file, the old one just vanishes from your IMS and any action you took is reset. You have to start over. If they delete it, it's gone. And definitely pay close attention to place of supply changes. If an amendment makes your ITC ineligible, it's on you to reverse it yourself.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. You get the what and the why. So now let's talk about the how. Let's map out a simple action plan so you can jump in and get started right away.
So, where do you find this thing? It's super easy. Just log into the GST Portal like you always do. From your dashboard, navigate to Services, then click on Returns, and right there, you'll see the new option, Invoice Management System. You're just a few clicks away.
So if you're going to remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this simple formula. The Invoice Management System gives you control over your invoices, which gives you a new level of safety for your business, and that all leads to claiming the correct ITC. Control, safety, correct ITC. That's the whole point. At the end of the day, this new system is a real game changer. It fundamentally shifts the power and the responsibility right over to you, the recipient. It's a powerful tool for staying accurate and compliant. So the only question left is, now that you have all this control, which invoice are you going to check first?